Hello, everybody. Welcome to Masks Monday. I am back with Masks of Nyarlathotep with my 4 players. This is session 5. I've already gone into Sean Connery. God. Session 5, the second chapter. Not second chapter. Start again. Second session of chapter 1, and our second session in New York. So let's have a quick recap of the characters, which those of you watching will be reassured that they are still the same, but in case you've forgotten who they are, let us start with the person on my right, who is a Johan Braun.
Yes, Johan Braun. Yeah, he's a German immigrant into America after the First World War, working at Berkeley. Didn't take to America and was losing his interest until this inspirational trip to Peru came along, which has sort of changed his life, really. He was fascinated and excited to get this invitation to come to New York to meet his friend Jackson.
Is a good accurate.
On arriving in New York, Jackson's killed. Everyone's stunned, and we now don't know what's going on.
I have no idea what's going on. Okay, and next we have another, I suppose native born to America, Winston.
Yes, I am playing Winston. I am an African American. I don't want to say I've graduated. I am a keen archaeologist. Unfortunately, trying to prove myself. I felt I did a good job of that in Peru, and like Johan, I was looking forward to meeting Jackson again in New York. Clearly, we would like to have met Jackson a bit more together than he was. We're now deciding what we're going to do next.
And then below me, roughly to the right, sort of half, is Arthur.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Arthur Dibden. I'm a Brit medic of the Royal Army who decided that maybe to leave the horrors of war behind him, he might as well visit the USA and South America, not South Africa. And then he realized that maybe if he stayed home, it would have been quite a charm. And now his feelings are torn apart, just like Jackson Elias' guts.
Yeah, quite literally. And last but by no means least, we have our French character, our French resident of the game.
Alors, I am indeed French. You can tell because I have this shitty accent that I fake. And this week, I should be using this book of dice.
Oh, yes.
They are Cthulhu Reds.
This session is not sponsored by any company, but yes, they are hella nice dice, and they do Kickstarter.
I change dice each week. I've been using really nice dice throughout. I've been using my glitter Valkyrie dice.
Are we doing this for free?
Yeah, I'm not being sponsored by anyone.
Yeah, we're not sponsored.
But technically, Valkyrie Dice did actually sponsor Com Plus, which is a charity convention we run. So I suppose in that sense, but I paid for these. I bought these myself. They weren't given to me to roll on stream. It's not like we have a dice cam.
No.
You know?
Today's session will be sponsored by bloodcurdlingscreams.com.
I might change my dice next week, and then we'll have a look at what I'm rolling next week.
I was going to say, thank you for the recap on your dice. Would we now be able to have a recap on the story from last week, Becky?
Oh, sure. We all turned up.
You all turned up, okay.
Right.
I
can do a more complete thing. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
I should do it in the character's voice to make it sound more authentic.
Okay.
First of all, we got a telegram from a dear friend that we are very close to. I don't remember his name. But anyway, he said he was investigating some mysterious thing with the Carlyle Expedition, and Winston went and did lots of newspaper research and found lots of articles that says the Carlyle Expedition is all dead. And anyway, it sounds like it had much connection, at least in tone, to what happened in our own expedition in Peru. And he seemed to trust us like we were dear friends. And I think that is because we are. Also, I think his name is Ellie Saxon or something. I don't know. Anyway, so he says he's going to meet us in New York, but he neglects to tell us where because he's idiot, you see. So we go to New York and he finds us anyway because he just went to the most expensive hotel. That is, of course, where I was staying. So he gives us a phone call and he says, turn up at my house. And my hotel, not his house, his hotel. So we go to his hotel, and there is all sorts of fun and games where it turns out that he has been killed. And Arthur and Winston, they are now suspects. At least they should be. So they probably did it as far as I'm concerned. I was in the lobby. Anyway, whilst I was in the lobby, I saw some police in the street, and they were being all, oh, this is a crime scene. You need to get away from here. So I go into the hotel and I go up the stairs and I see that indeed our dear friend, whose name I don't really care about, is all exploded on the bed. And so we have to, we now, so I'm thinking, okay, I need an alibi really quickly because, I can hear policeman's whistle. So I'm going to go to the reception and say, like, I can't get hold of my friend. Could you call him again? That way I can make it clear that I have not been in the room before the murder is discovered by the police. So anyway, the police, they come up the stairs as we're going down the stairs, and they detain us and they ask us questions and they take us to the police station, and there's lots of questions, but they weren't very good. So anyway, turns out that Arthur and Winston, they had absolutely turned the place over, so they are definitely guilty. And we've got lots of little leads to follow now ourselves. So they found a business card for the Penhu Foundation. That's the same name as one of the Egyptologists on the original expedition that our dear friend was investigating. So that is a lead we're following. They're in Tottenham Court Road in London, West 1. And I don't know if the person who wrote this scenario has ever been to Tottenham Court Road, but there's no offices there. It's all shops. Anyway, we also
25.
We also got a letter from Cairo, Egypt, addressing to Mr. Carlyle. So it's about a lawyer informing them that he seeks knowledge of a land, distant past, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it's a letter. Who cares? So there was also a photo, and in the background is the buildings that are clearly the Shanghai Harbor, because they are very, how do you call it in English? I don't bloody know. I can only say it in French, and this is an English stream, so I won't say the word. But it is basically, they're very recognizable buildings from Shanghai Harbor. And there's pictures of a boat. We can see half of a boat's name. It says Da. And there's also a box of matches that is also from Shanghai. I think that is because the clue was the buildings is maybe not good enough. So, a lot of groups would recognize the buildings. But in this case, we can recognize the buildings, but we also got the matchbook from the Shanghai Fun and Friends Stumbling Tiger Bar, which sounds like it is very erotic. Then there is a letter to Harvard University. So there is a library manager there has written a letter to our friend saying that the book that he wanted is no longer in the collection. It is our mission to find out what that book was, of course. Under the back of one of the business card is a signature, Silas Nkwane. It's not a name I know, but the business card itself is for Emerson Imports. They're in New York, and we don't know why he has that card. Perhaps it is for the book. There is also a flyer, not an aeroplane or any kind of Wright Brothers contraption. No, it is a flyer for marketing purposes. And it says, tonight only, the cult of... Why am I saying the? I'm not German. The Cult of Darkness in Polynesia and Southwest Pacific. A 2-hour lecture with slides delivered by Professor Anthony Cowles, PhD. Anyway, he's from Australia, but he might well still be in New York. He's working in Arkham. So, good Cthulhu grounding there. So he will know lots about monsters and tentacles and snake people and stuff. Also, our friend, he had, did he not have carvings in his forehead when we found his body? So he had the wounds carved into his forehead, and the wounds were in the same signs that we found on our expedition of the market people. So there was that also. And yes, that is basically my recap of the session. You can send all the royalties to my personal PO box.
D'accord.
What?
D'accord.
Decor? No, this place is not decorated.
It means I am in agreement with you in French. Jesus. Okay. Have your D4 worth of luck, Francoise.
Even now for my nuts.
Thank you for being you, Francois. Also stick it.
Stick it? What did I do wrong?
Yes.
Also, one thing I forgot to do, or rather didn't know it was a thing, but then it kind of dawned on me with the development phase stuff. Because you come into quite a lot of money, some of you get to up your credit rating a little bit. Some of you. Winston, because you're already within the wealthy bracket, getting sort of 50,000 worth doesn't actually make a difference. But for the rest of you, it does a little bit. So Johan, Arthur, and Francoise, you can get another 1d6 worth added to your credit rating.
This 6, you say.
D6.
And the 6 you shall have. It's a 2.
I rolled the 6 and I rolled the 4 for luck. It is like I am cheating.
She's lying, Keeper. She's lying. I can tell from here she's lying. And I'm 1 time zone ahead of you. So I can see in the past that she's been lying.
Wow.
I'm from the future, Keeper.
Yes. Okay. So I'll do a quick rundown of Sanity because it is now the morning of Friday, the 16th of January. So, Arthur, are you on 67 by any chance? Or on 70?
I'm on 70.
You're on 70. Okay, so I did
because
do
I
that at the time.
updated my character sheet.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Francoise, you're on 77?
That is right, which no doubt will make Arthur think that I am cheating.
Yep.
She's
Johan, Johan, 87. Yep. And Winston, 68.
Yep.
Johan is cheating more.
And in terms of luck, Arthur, you're on 34.
Yes, indeed.
Yep. Francoise is now 47.
That is correct, so therefore I must be lying.
Yep. Johan, 62. Yep. And Winston, 45.
Correct.
Okay.
And I have to, I'm thoroughly enjoying the most German-sounding French person I've ever heard.
They're sort of next to each other.
Yeah, she's from Lorraine.
Give it a couple of years, we will all be speaking German anyway.
Bought it. Oh, yes, indeed. Okay, and now this may or may not come up, but I might as well ask this anyway. Obviously, you're all staying at the Waldorf, of course, the most expensive hotel this side of New York. But in terms of rooms, do you all have separate rooms?
Why, of course.
Or are you sharing?
Yeah, I believe we do.
No.
I rather assumed that we all had separate rooms.
Separate rooms. That's what I thought, but just wanted to check. Okay. Lovely. Right. And I'll quickly just remind you about what you intend to do, at least this morning.
Yeah, because in the afternoon we got the funeral. Is that right? Was that on Friday?
No, that's on Saturday. That's tomorrow.
Saturday?
Mm.
No, we were on Thursday is the
day,
funeral.
yeah.
Sorry, Le funeral was Le Friday.
Have I got that wrong? I have, haven't I? Yes, I have. I beg your pardon. I've got this calendar. I put it in the wrong blinking thing. I was going to say, it seemed like a lot of time before the funeral. Okay, let me just quickly change that. Right, so in the morning, you have 3 of you going off to Emerson Imports.
Indeed.
And then you also have Winston going off to make a couple of phone calls and do some library research.
Cheers.
So 2 p.m. funeral. Oh, it auto sizes. That's good. Awesome. Okay. Any preference as to what we do first? Because of course you are splitting the party now that breakfast has come to a close.
As to me, you can roll a 1d4 and choose.
Did Winston not say that the photographer on the mission was in New York?
She
Miss
came from New York.
Hypatia Masters. Hypatia Masters, yeah.
She was part of Carlyle's friend set in New York. So
Oh.
she came from the area.
Intimate to Mr. Carlyle, so the girlfriend of. And assumedly she died on the expedition with everyone else.
Yeah, I think she did, yeah.
Yeah, it does say that she perished as well, along with the others.
She must have family and things, friends. And...
Yeah, that sounds like a dead lead. Like, literally, she's dead.
Yeah, but his sister is still in the city.
Now, that's one worth investigating because she went out to... So she went out to Africa.
Ah, so you're thinking of possibly trying to have an audience with Erica?
Well, sure. Oui.
Okay. Any idea? I mean, what is your plan on how you're going to try and approach her?
Haven't made one yet. We only just came up with the thought of going to see her.
If she is, I mean, she is a socialite, there could be a party or something that there could be a party or something, some social event that she might be going to. It could be one way we could gate crash.
Gate crash. That's an interesting way of putting it.
In a subtle upmarket sort of way, but we can gate crash.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyone who fancies pursuing that line of inquiry, do you fancy making me a luck roll?
I will never go.
Who's the luckiest?
I might do that as
At the minute, it's Johan.
Johan will never go.
No.
Well, I'm being nice to you. I could have asked for a group luck roll, but I know that a couple of you were sounded more keen than others to go and possibly have a talk to her.
Oh wow, that is that would be a hard success if it was that's 11 from 62.
Okay, that's fine, but I wouldn't mind a bit of a clue as to how a professor of linguistics has managed to not get hold of Erica, but get hold of either a secretary or a confidant who is an immediate contact to her. You know, this is a completely different clique of, cliques.
Check the society pages of the newspapers.
Yeah, I could contact the newspaper. Someone who wrote about the Carlyle Expedition, perhaps.
Okay. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Yep, she is somebody who does appear in the society papers, just like her brother before her.
Yeah.
That is fine.
Maybe it was a story, something like being a linguistics professor, interested in the Egypt trip and the languages.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Needed a bit more information, if we could possibly.
Say that again. Sorry, I need a bit more information on what?
On the expedition, and maybe there's any sort of details on the languages and which tombs were visited.
Okay. Let me just have a quick think for a moment. I think probably the most logical way they would respond, if I can find the name of this guy, seriously,
It's with a restraining order.
with restraint. Okay, so essentially your letter or telegram, whatever we want to do, is received by a Mr. Bradley Gray, who you think is a confidant of some sort or a counselor to Erica. He comes back with a fairly brusque response, but essentially says if you want to make an appointment, you can, but Erica is a very busy woman, etc., etc., etc.
I will get back to him and say we want to make an appointment, whether that's probably maybe a telegram. It's the quickest route.
Yeah. It does appear like she is still in New York, which is good for you, of course.
Okay.
Do you propose a specific date or time?
Maybe tomorrow, once we've had a bit of time to check out the other leads, we might have a little bit more knowledge on what questions to ask. But particularly want to know really what I want to get at is where he went, why he left Egypt for the second part of the trip, because obviously that rest thing is
okay.
I'm more interested in what she discovered on her visit, because I don't think for a moment that she was killed by natives, and I think she knows the truth.
Okay.
He was killed by maggot people.
Do you communicate that to him as well?
I say this to Johan, and this is the pertinent information. Is get her trust so that she understands that we believe in maggot people.
Well, just when we say we're going to Egypt on an expedition, basically recreating the Carlyle Expedition, and we'd like some information. I think.
Is that how you write it?
I would say advice, not information. It is a softer and allows opportunity for opinion.
And can I bring my photographer along as well to take pictures of you as a part of the actual recording of the expedition?
Okay. So just so I've got it right, so you say that you're kind of almost recreating the Carlyle Expedition.
Obviously, yes, it didn't achieve its goals because officially they left partway through the expedition to go on a holiday, didn't they? So
okay.
We're hoping something of the expedition must be known, what the original point was. So we're going to finish the task. We're going to go recreate it, finish the task. That's the story, I think, anyway.
Okay.
That's why we want any information that she can give us about her brother's dig.
Or information, advice, and so you want to add about you want to take a picture of her as well. Okay.
Yeah. And a picture. Okay. So we're gonna create this, maybe a book or something at the end, but we're gonna detail the whole expedition in pictures.
Okay. I'm assuming you're planning this all together, right?
I'd imagine before we split up, yeah.
I believe we are, yes.
Winston, as the by far the most well-off and good-looking person in the party, do you fancy making me a credit rating roll?
And how do I accomplish that feat?
You just roll into your credit rating.
Where is my credit rating? Haha! I have. Now, my rolls were pretty good last week, so let's see if we balance out.
Famous last words.
Yes, we fucking do.
Okay. How much?
I missed by 7. Missed by 6. I have a credit rating of 70, and I missed.
You got plenty of luck. If you want to spend luck.
Yeah, I will spend 6 points of luck.
You're going to spend luck.
Thank you very much.
Lovely, lovely. So now you're 39. Okay. So you're listening to them kind of try and draw up this response. And as somebody who okay, maybe slightly different community of people in terms of like more archaeologists than dilettantes, but you're getting the impression that this is not going to go down too well. It's not quite the right tact.
I didn't think so either, but I thought I'd let Johan dig his grave because I figured you would allow it, but never mind.
I have
Well,
a feeling
fuck me, I guess.
we may require a more subtle approach.
What are you thinking?
Because you did mention a party.
Yes, I think we need to. I'd like to be able to check the society pages actually to see whether there are any mention. There's also in the article there's a mention of a companion, a Mrs. Post. She might be a way in as well. Oh, Gwendolyn, was it Gwendolyn Post? Dun, 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 dun. I know what I'm talking about.
So, are we infiltrating a party? A nice society party, or just you are?
We are not aware of what party she is going to.
Victoria Post.
Victoria Post.
We could either try to...
Really sounds like an Australian newspaper. Today in the Victoria Post.
If you really just want to get her in the rooms, then we could just mention her brother. An unfinished business in Egypt.
Yes, I'm going to check to see the society pages to see if there are parties, social events somewhere where she might be attending.
Okay.
I'd like to get her in a social setting. If for no other reason than her guard will be down. We might get her in a better frame of mind. If she is up to her ears in it, then we can definitely get her off kilter.
Bear in mind it's prohibition, but soirees, parties are still a thing. And you find perusing through, she does attend at least one a month locally.
Okay.
So you do a bit of digging. It takes a bit of time, a couple of hours, but I'll say that yes, you do come across. She's actually holding a soiree early next week.
Perfect.
Tuesday the 20th.
How do we know she is holding a soiree? Is it an open invite?
No, but very much like her brother being a playboy, and he's just all over the press whenever he does anything remotely important or interesting. There's sort of local press as well that say, "Oh yeah, this rich person is holding a soiree." It's not an invitation; it's just this is a rich person, so therefore they're important.
Okay, how do we get in on this? We may have to work our way up the contacts list to get in on that. But first, as this will take some time, let us go to an import place and you make some phone calls, and then we go and do shopping for black ties and dresses. As we have funeral tomorrow, I remind you. I don't suppose for one moment you packed for a funeral. If you did, I want to ask why.
You know, the sad thing is, you said, right, we got to shop for black ties and dresses, and I was thinking about the soiree next week and not the fucking funeral. I thought we were going for tuxes.
You can wear the same on the boat, you.
There's nothing to stop us getting them for both. We could have a tuxedo for the funeral that doubles as evening wear.
Right.
End up looking like waiters round the grave.
why don't we deal with Emerson imports first?
Yeah, I was going to say that's the one that's going to take a while, possibly. Get right into that.
Yes. Well, maybe not. But yes, you head to the address. It is close to the waterfront, on the west side of Manhattan. So across the river, essentially, is the border, aka New Jersey or New Jersey, across. But Emerson Imports is in a district called Hell's Kitchen, sometimes known as Clinton as well, but it's normally known as Hell's Kitchen, out of all places. But yes, it's a big warehouse. It seems to import goods from far and wide. It is open, as it is a Friday morning. Noisy, plenty of people working in there. As you sort of mosey on in, you're quite quickly kind of approached by one of the workers who asks if you need any help, because you're obviously not workers.
Oui, hold up the card with the name on the back. Is he here?
No, but if you want to see the Mr. Emerson, he's in his office. I'll just let him know that you're here. What was your names?
I am Johan, and this is
My name is Arthur.
This is Madame Francoise Pelletier.
All right.
But the petticoat is Pelletier.
Pelletier, sorry. It's the German accent.
Are you planning to enter a business arrangement with Mr. Emerson?
It's entirely possible that we could conclude some business with him.
Very well. I will let him know if you'll give me one moment. And he goes off. He goes up some stairs up to a little office. Sort of brief amount of talking. He comes back down, sort of hurries back down, and says, "Yes, Mr. Emerson will see you now."
Thank you very much. Where should we go?
He basically just sort of leads you back up the stairs to where he was. So up the left.
What kind of
and there's like a
goods are
little
in this
room.
warehouse as we're walking through it?
You're not sure. They're all big boxes and crates, essentially, but it's all heavy stuff. It's either being carried by multiple people, or there's even some heavy machinery. There's some like little cranes, like suspended on chain hooks and stuff.
The question is Elias's, if that's his name, Jackson's death in the obituary column in the paper today.
There was that article that you saw in the newspaper this morning at breakfast.
Yeah. Okay.
If that's what you mean, or
yeah,
if you
it's
wanna
got
look
his
at-
name in, hasn't it?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay, that might be useful to know before going in. So,
Okay, so you head on in. Presumably, Mr. Emerson greets you. He's middle-aged, but he does look quite muscular. Slightly softening with his age, but yeah, he still looks quite athletic. Comes across a bit bullish almost in character. But he says, "Well, new clients potentially. Please come and sit down."
sort of, you were doing some business with our associate Elias Jackson.
That name does ring a bell, yes. Let me see if I have a record of him coming in just to remind me. And he goes through some papers. I don't think he's not a client of mine, but I think he popped in to inquire. Are you contacts of his, friends of his?
Could be more relevant to say we're picking up from Silas and Kwani.
Oh, you want to speak to Silas? Well, he doesn't work for me. He is he's one of my clientele. He has a store in Harlem, but yes, I've imported some goods for him from Kenya. So he gets them collected, takes them up. So yes, I can give you an address if you like. If you would rather see
That would be
him.
much appreciated.
Yes.
Yes, of course. I mean, do you mind me asking why you're here on behalf of Jackson? Is he all right?
He's in the paper today. So we are trying to conclude his business and settle his affairs and move things forward.
Oh, I haven't seen today's newspaper. Has he? Do you mind elaborating a little bit? I'm a busy man. I don't really have time to read newspapers in the morning.
He was murdered, basically.
Really?
Indeed. So if you have
I
anything
see.
more to tell us about him, that would be much appreciated to help us to close his things. That's why we're here, basically.
I see. I had no idea. I'm very sorry to hear. Yes, I do remember him. He only came in the once, so I don't know him at all. But he was inquiring about Silas. He was asking just about any sort of potential, possibly odd merchandise that came through my doors. Nothing illegal, you understand, but he seemed to be looking for strange items. So I just said, well, there is a place up in Harlem that might be able to help, and I gave him the name Silas.
Could you please just give us a basic description of this Kawe fella?
Oh, the who? Sorry.
The Silas.
Silas
guy.
Nkwane.
Nkwane, yes.
To be honest with you, I've done business with him for a couple of years now. He's not a Christian man. I'll be honest with you. He's obviously brought a lot of his culture over here. Quite sort of queer lines of thinking, if you know what I mean. He's a fairly charming fellow, though. I think he's harmless enough. He's just a little strange. He's not, he doesn't have the American spirit or anything.
Can I ask, does he have a tattoo like this? And I'll draw the sign we keep saying.
No, not that I know of. But he tends to wear those. I don't know what they're called. Those sort of poncho shawl things that cover most of his body. So if he does have one, I've never seen it before.
I understand. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Anything else I can do for you?
Just the address, I think, and thank you very much for your help.
Yes, the
That's not a
address
problem.
will be more than enough as of now.
Yes. I'll find that now for you. But in the meantime, and he starts looking through sort of business cards and things. In the meantime, if you do speak to his family, would you give them my condolences?
Yes.
So he
Certainly will.
We surely will.
he doesn't find a business card. There isn't really a business card, but there is like a sort of entry of addresses. So he kind of takes out this card, writes it down on a separate another business card for Emerson Imports, just so happens, and gives it to you. It is indeed a place in Harlem, and presumably it's a shop, but it's called Juju House.
Juju House.
Is that
As
J
in
double O or
J-I-
J-E-W?
IU.
Juju,
Okay.
J-U-J.
as in bad juju.
Mm.
Sort of juju.
All right. Well, if my partners don't have anything else to ask this Emerson fellow, I believe we're good.
Just to say, your warehouse seems extremely busy. You must be doing well.
Well, yes, as you can see, I am a businessman. Like I said, I get many different imports from far and wide.
You specialize in anything particular, or?
Not really, no. Like I said, the stuff that comes from Silas is a little bit strange, but harmless enough. But other things are fairly mundane, really. But it's the mundane stuff that tends to sell more because more people need it. But also, and he kind of gestures to there's like an opening to the docks. He says prime location as well, of course, on the west means I can get across to New Jersey sometimes.
Ah, yes. It's all about location.
Oh yes, absolutely. And he kind of gloats a bit and smirks. He's obviously doing quite well for himself.
Is New Jersey nice? I say innocently.
Well, you're obviously not from around here, man, but there are some stereotypes that New Jersey it's not quite as upmarket as here, you know, but nothing wrong with it. Particularly.
You meant, so your joke was about stolen goods?
No, as
No,
in the people. They're not as I don't know, sophisticated. That's the stereotype, I suppose. You're from France, right? Presumably from the language.
I spent a lot of time in Peru, and I have lived in Los Angeles a couple of months. But I am French, yes, oui.
Oh, right, okay. So take Los Angeles, for example. There's, Hollywood and the hills and Los Angeles, and then there's Santa Monica. A similar sort of thing.
Okay. I have not been to Santa Monica yet.
I gathered from the fact you didn't react to my analogy, but never mind. Well, if it's all the same to you folks, I have a lot to do. Again, I'm happy to help if you need to call me for anything. I've put my number on there as well. But I hope your endeavors are fruitful.
Well,
Thank you very much. You've been most accommodating.
Thank you very much indeed. Have a nice, productive day, I guess.
Oh, I certainly will, with it being a Friday. Always is, always is.
And as we'll leave, I'll say to the others, I still don't get why you said New Jersey like that.
Okay, meanwhile, as you're heading back, presumably to the hotel, Winston, of course, in terms of libraries, there's the New York Library. But making the calls and things, do you do everything at the library, or are you thinking of making the calls either from your room or somewhere else?
At
the hotel.
Hotel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got a couple of places you wanted to call. There was Harvard, looking for Miriam Arkwright, and also potentially trying to find to get hold of Anthony Cowles if he's still there, the Shillier Hall. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Harvard first.
I'll do Harvard
okay.
first.
No worries. So you're put through to the library at Harvard, and you get this rather eccentric sounding elderly lady who goes, "Hello, Harvard University's Whitney Library."
Good morning. Do I have the pleasure of speaking with Miss Arkwright?
Yes, that's me, Arkwright. What can I do for you?
Oh, that's lovely. I have a rather sensitive request. I'm sad to inform you that a friend of ours has recently passed away. We found a letter from yourself in amongst his belongings, and we're trying to set his affairs in order on behalf of his family. The letter was to our friend Jackson Elias. Regarding
Jackson Elias. Oh, that is a terrible thing to hear. I'm
Yes.
so sorry.
It was regarding the letter was regarding a book.
Yes, he was looking for a book, a copy of Africa's Dark Sects. I told him, as I'm assuming you've read in the letter, that I no longer have it. But yes, I'm so sorry that he's passed.
Do you happen to know where a copy of this book might be obtained? Do you happen to know of another library that may hold a copy?
That is a question indeed. I don't really know how many copies exist, really. We do have, if you're into this sort of thing, sir, we have quite a large section on the occult, but unfortunately, one day the book vanished. It was stolen from the library. So in terms of another copy, I'm afraid I can't help you there, but...
Can you tell me when this theft took place?
Oh, it was a while ago now. A year, maybe a year and a half ago. Naturally, we didn't find the book or find who took it. But it depends really on what information he was looking for. I could maybe try and help glean information from other sources, but it depends on how long you have.
At the moment, we're unsure of why he specifically wanted the book. We were hoping that having hold of a copy might actually answer that question, if that makes sense.
Yes, I'm just trying to remember if he mentioned anything. I did love his books, you know. I read a few of them myself.
We believe he was researching with regards to a new publication, which is why we're rather keen to track down the book. We'd like to be able to answer any questions.
Well, I mean, I obviously, because I've read some of his books, I know that he specialized in cults of sorts. In terms of what is in the book, from what I know, naturally, dark cults from Africa, as the book says on the tin.
Yes.
If you want to use that analogy. But again, it depends on which cults or cult in particular he was looking for.
Something. Do you have anything? Any sort of book that would makes reference to a father of maggots?
Oh, father of maggots. Father of maggots. That doesn't sound like an African cult god to me, but I might be able to get back to you on that. I would need a little bit of time.
Also,
I could maybe call the hotel later today or tomorrow.
Yes, certainly. Also, out of interest, amongst your books, is there any that reference the cult of darkness? This isn't so much reference to Africa as so much as Polynesian Isles and Southwest Pacific.
The cult of darkness. That's
somewhat extravagant name, I grant you, but we
No, I'm afraid, and she sounds almost a little bit like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I don't know of any name with such an on the nose wording.
Yeah, we as I say, we are looking through his effects, and this phrase came up. Out of interest, did he request any other books at the time?
No, he was very specific. He specifically wanted this one. Yes. He didn't really. He was a little bit cheeky in that he wanted to keep things a secret.
Yeah,
But,
he was somewhat guarded.
I was quite annoyed with him, actually, given how much I hinted of a big fan I was of his writings, but he was insistent. But anyway.
I don't take his guardedness personally. He was I would consider him a close friend, and as you can tell from my somewhat erratic questioning, he didn't tell us much either. I don't know. Maybe he thought he was going to get scooped by someone, to use a journalistic term.
Oh, I see. That is most concerning.
Out of interest, just out of curiosity, has anyone else asked for that particular volume?
I'm just trying to think if the perpetrator may have possibly popped in to find out before taking it, but again, I don't know who it was. It's possible. Obviously, we won't have record of anybody simply asking for a book, but I could try and have a look through the records and see if anybody took out anything similar.
Yes, please. Yes,
and
that would
maybe do a little bit of digging.
That would be most helpful.
Okay, I'm happy to do that, but again, it will take me some time, sir.
Yes, no problem.
I will give you a call within the next couple of days if you are able to give me the number of where are you. You sound from the West Coast. Are you staying in New York?
I'm in New York for the next few days or so, whilst we set my friend's affairs in order.
Well, let me take the hotel number.
I give her the number. Give her the number and obviously the room extension. Because I've got a feeling there won't be a direct line. You phone the front desk and I'll put it through. It'll be the standard procedure.
I'm not going to be able to read my own writing very shortly because I'm writing it very, very scruffy.
That's all right, Dr. Jason.
It's the trouble I have with his writing.
See, that's it. There's no way she can read my notes because she can't read them because my writing is.
That's the way you want it.
I do call him doctor sometimes.
Unintended encryption.
Well, and what's your name, sir?
My name is Winston Greene.
What a lovely name.
Thank you. Thank you. You have been a most delightful lady to speak to. Thank you.
I must say you've been quite delightful yourself, Winston, if you don't mind me calling you Winston.
Oh, you may call me as you wish, madam. I am
wonderful.
Thank you. I look very much forward to your call. Thank you.
I will do what I can. I'll see what I can do. I might have to call on Monday. I will have to.
Not a problem at all.
Do some digging.
Not a problem at all. Thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome. Goodbye now.
I'm now going to phone Miskatonic University.
Okay. To what?
Well, Miskatonic University is the the university that Professor Anthony Cowles.
Okay, cool. Just double checking, but yes, you are correct.
Now, yes, I mean,
Okay.
technically he could still be on a speaking tour, but if he is, then the university will have his we'll know all the dates of his speaking tours and where he's going and all the rest of it, so we can get a hold of him. And if he's not on his speaking tour, it means he's back at the university. Either way, we're going to get hold of him.
Right, so you call up to Miskatonic,
Yep.
and he is indeed at the university, or rather he is that, during the day.
Excellent.
So yes, he picks up the phone. Yes, hello. Who am I speaking to here, please?
My name is Winston Greene. I'm an archaeologist out of Los Angeles.
Right.
A friend of mine passed away last night. I'm helping his family set his affairs in order. Amongst his personals, he had a flyer advertising your talk, Cult of Darkness.
Oh, that God blimey, that was a few months ago. Oh, when was that even? I can't even bloody remember. September, I think I did that one.
Interesting.
I mean, I don't really know what you're going to find about his family in there. It was all weird stuff about Australian cults.
Well, we're simply trying to ascertain what is the last of his papers, so we know what is important for the family to keep a hold of and what can be dismissed as trivialities. As you can understand, the family are grief-stricken at the moment, and really are not in a position to decide on these things. I thought I would help them out. My friend's name was Jackson Elias. Did you happen to know him?
Never heard of him, mate. If he did attend my lecture, I didn't meet anybody there apart from the big wallops. But no, I never really spoke to anybody in the audience.
Interesting. Could I ask, and I asked this as much as a professional curiosity as it is as a friend. Could I ask what the basic gist of your lecture was?
Can you give me a charm roll, Winston?
Now I have to charm?
Yeah, funnily enough.
No.
Charm the Sydney bloke. Or you could do a hard fast talk or persuade roll.
I don't have enough luck in the world to balance out that roll. Yeah, that was not good.
Okay. You start hearing somebody in the background, a younger woman, and you think it's somebody who's trying to kind of get his attention. And you sort of hear him say, like, I'll be there in a minute. And he turns back to you and says, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. It was a lecture. It was long, lots of different points in there about cults. Are you an expert at all on cults? I don't even know if you really know anything I'll be saying to you.
Jackson was someone who had published a few works on cults around the world. It may very well have been the reason. It could have been simple curiosity to hear your lecture.
Do you know the names of these books? I might have read one.
The only book I know of that he was looking for particularly was a book entitled Africa's Dark Sects.
Yeah, but I mean, what books did he write?
Oh, do I know any of them?
You were given one a couple of years ago by the man himself.
God,
We're in it.
I don't have
Well, yes, you are mentioned in it. Yeah.
I don't have the name of it to hand.
If you give me a no roll, I can give it to you.
The way I'm rolling my dice at the moment.
Oh, no.
Jesus. Let's have no roll. That's education. Or is it?
Yes. Yeah, education.
Oh, that's an extreme pass.
Oh, okay.
That's what we want.
Finally.
Okay, so it is The Hungry Dead.
Yes, it's
And,
it's a book called The Hungry Dead.
Oh, The Hungry Dead. Do you know what? I was absolutely blown away by that book. Nothing to do with the stuff that I do. Completely different part of the world, obviously. But no, I love that book. I had no idea that he was in the audience. Damn,
Yeah.
I missed a trick there. Right. What I will do... I mean, do you want the long or the short of it? Because I'm getting... Edward, it's fine. I'll be with you in a moment. My daughter, she's quite loving. Let's just say that.
If I mean I am in the book.
Wow. Right. Okay. Yeah.
We were, my friends and I were part of that expedition to Peru.
Okay. Well, maybe it would be worth your while then knowing about this. I honestly don't know, of course, what he wanted to know about these sects because, again, I did not speak to him. But yeah, I can try and summarize what I talked about. And
Yep.
I shall bring up a handbite if I can remember where it is. Now, obviously, it looks like it's on a piece of paper, but it is a summary. So obviously, it's much bigger than that. Where is it? That's the ad for it. Hold on a second. Here it is. And I'll put this in the drive as well, of course.
The drive is open and awaits.
The drive. Quite a lot of stuff to read. But essentially, he summarizes the lecture in 4 main points.
Okay.
First point, a bat cult once existed among the Aboriginal peoples of Australia. It was known across the continent, and the god of the cult was known as the father of all bats. Excuse me. Adherents believed that by making human sacrifices to their god, they themselves would become worthy enough that the father of all bats would appear to them. Once he was enticed to appear, the god would conquer all men. Sacrifices were run through a gauntlet of worshippers who struck the victims with clubs embedded with the sharp teeth of bats. The teeth were coated with a fast-acting poison, somehow derived from fermented bat droppings. And the victims apparently went mad before they died. Leaders of the cult reputedly would take the form of bat-winged snakes, enabling them to steal sacrifices from across the land. Cowles believed that this cult became dormant or existed hundreds of years ago. Its former existence is the reason that he became interested in Jackson Elias's books about present-day cults, including The Hungry Dead. Second point, he found that a specific Aboriginal song cycle mentions a place where enormous beings gathered somewhere in the west of Australia. The songs say that these gods, who were not at all like men, built great sleeping walls and dug great caves. But living winds blew down the gods and overthrew them, destroying their camp. When this happened, the way was opened for the father of all bats, who came into the land and grew strong. Third point. Basically, he talks about these 4 overexposed glass slides that he showed. Each shows a few sweating men standing beside enormous blocks of stone, pitted and eroded, but clearly dressed and formed for architectural purposes. Dim carvings seem to decorate some of them. Billows of sand are also everywhere. Though he didn't bring the book with him, Cal say that the discoverer, one Arthur McWeir of Port Hedland, Australia, kept a diary which he recorded several attacks on the party by Aboriginals. McWeir reportedly records deaths to victims from hundreds of small punctures reminiscent of the earlier bat cult. And point number 4. Cowles also tells you a tale of something he kind of found out about near the Arafura Sea in northern Australia. In it, Sandbat, or father of all bats, has a battle of wits with Rainbow Snake. The Aboriginal... they've missed a thing out here. Deification of water and the patron of life. So Rainbow Snake succeeds in tricking and trapping the Sandbat and his clan in the depths of a watery place from which Sandbat can only complain and is unable to return to trouble the people.
Okay.
So he just kind of summarizes that over the phone for you.
I'm not writing any of that down simply because I'm going to wait for this thing to come up.
Wait for the handout. Yes.
I'm going to wait for the handout for that.
That's
a lot to summarize.
Yes. If I can find it in oh yeah, here we go. Oh no, not all of them, just that one.
All is fine.
There we go.
I deduce that there are at least 5 more handouts in New York before we leave this place. They are numbered.
I agree with your I agree completely with your deductive reasoning.
Actually, it'd be 4, not 5, but
So hopefully that's helpful to you. I mean,
yes, indeed. It's fascinating. Thank you so much for your
no
aid.
problem. You can obviously call me up here if you need anything further, but I am going to be heading back to Sydney in the next few months.
If I require to speak to you again, I will certainly do so. Thank you so much for your help.
All right.
Thank you. Is it possible? Can you transfer me, please, to your library? The
Yes.
university library, please.
Yeah, sure. Let me just find you. He doesn't transfer you because he's a professor. He's not a call center person, but he gives you like the number so you can hang up and redial.
I phone Miskatonic University Library.
Yep. Yeah, that's fine. So librarian answers. Good afternoon, Mr. Tarnick Library. Good morning.
I have, well, not so much a strange request, but hopefully you'll be able to help me. A friend of mine has recently passed away. He was looking for a particular volume here in New York, but he was unsuccessful. I was just wondering if you had a copy of it, of this particular volume, in your library. It's a book by the name of Africa's Dark Sects.
She sort of tells you to wait a moment, puts the phone down. You can hear her sort of go off. No, I'm afraid we don't have that. No, it's a little bit embarrassing, as you probably know the reputation of Miskatonic, but no, not that specific book. No, we do have a couple of other, not death cults, but we do have a couple of books on African culture and possible occultism, but I think those are more general, whereas by the sounds of it, African death cults is more a specialist tone.
Yeah, it's... I have a feeling it was very specific. And thank you very much for your time. It was
No problem, sir.
Thank you very much. Yes, now I'm going to the New York Library.
Okay. So I know that you wanted to look into these Harlem murders. Is there anything else you want to look for or at whilst you're there? Because of course it is a
At the
friggin'
library,
huge
yes.
library.
I'm going to ask if they've got a copy of.
No, they have. No, they haven't. They haven't got a copy. But if you can give me a library use roll, they do have many departments.
Give me a home with a buffalo roam, and the deer and the antelope strewn. I'm going to spend 3 luck points just to get that to 40.
Regular pass, yeah.
Just for a regular, yeah. I rolled 43. It's a pain in the backside.
Okay. So again, they don't have the book, but you do find some information. You have to kind of go through. There's a few occult books, and you kind of have to reference some stuff. But what you find is there's a little bit of a lead in terms of the symbol that was on Larkin's chest, and of course on Jackson's forehead. It seems to refer to a cult known as the Cult of the Bloody Tongue.
Oh, shit.
It says that it appears to have originated in Kenya. However, in terms of whether the cult still exists or any sort of ongoing existence, you don't find anything on that. It's completely unclear.
Okay.
You also find a connection. It's connected to, it mentions a tome a couple of times called the Equinox Devise, which is a French tome. Although that actual copy, that book is not in the library. It's just mentioned in this one. Yes. Equinox Devise. I haven't got the accents on the E's. So that's what you find out about the symbol. In terms of the actual Harlem murders, you have a look back through newspapers. You look through sort of other bits on Harlem. What you find is that yes, there were several murders that happened last year, all sort of spread around Harlem. In terms of victims, they don't appear to really have any connection. So some were rich, some were poor, black, white, everything in between. Really, the only connection is that they were all carved with this symbol in their forehead. However, you do find it a bit odd or interesting, maybe, because, of course, Jackson was not murdered in Harlem. He was in Chelsea.
Yeah.
Which does seem more spread out than the usual murder locations. Shall I say at this point, perhaps the three of you convene at the library? Or if not, you can all convene back at the hotel?
Yeah, fine by me.
It's around lunchtime, so you've basically got time for a quick chat and lunch, and then you have to get off to the funeral, which is
tomorrow.
Yeah,
which is
the day
today.
after.
It is moved from Saturday to Thursday to Wednesday.
It's Friday today.
Wait, when did it become Friday today?
I thought what?
I wrote
It is
in
Thursday today.
Right.
in
Right,
last
okay,
week
okay.
notes that the funeral will be held the next day at 2 p.m.
Yeah. Okay. You definitely encountered, shall we say, Jackson on Thursday evening, which was the 15th. So today is Friday the 16th.
Hang on, sorry. We encountered Jackson on Tuesday.
Thursday.
We counted him on Thursday.
Yesterday.
Right. Okay.
It is Friday and he's being buried.
Yes.
So I very quickly rush out and get a dress.
Okay. I mean, I can say you can do that while Winston's been making calls and stuff. It's taken the morning.
I'm going to get my best suit. After lunch. Find my darkest tie. I don't think I'll have a black one to hand. I will find my darkest tie.
Okay.
I'll take my gun with me, just in case.
Okay.
There's nothing says funeral like killing more people.
I'm just setting the mood.
Setting the mood.
Just in case the guest of honor decides to leave the funeral.
Once we are there, I mean, why to stop the funny part? We can get it longer by killing other people. No?
I mean, if you want to be easily caught by New York's finest, that's the way to do it.
I will not be caught
How
by
boring.
Linguist. I have a very good cup.
Okay, so I'll give you a chance. Do you want to discuss anything before the funeral? You've got a little bit of time.
Yeah,
We
I
impart
believe
all our
that-
various knowledges.
Okay.
I believe that Aglem should be our next step because of
Absolutely.
the murder, because of the findings of Winston, and because the Silas fella is there. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's
No,
two
I
pigeons
agree, we
with
should
one
do that.
stone.
Sorry, what was the Equinox device about?
He didn't really
Out of
find
the
out
Black Stone.
what it was about. It was just referenced in the books that he was looking for.
Yeah, it's a tome of some description. It's one that I would now very much like to get a hold of if I can. It's not at the New York Library. However, it could be at either Miskatonic or indeed Harvard. I could end up doing the phone round again.
Or indeed British Library or the French?
Well, I'd love it to be closer.
I think.
Ideally. Okay. So you then make your way to the funeral,
Yes.
which is at Cypress Hill Cemetery in Brooklyn. So it's essentially a couple of train rides away. 2 p.m. It's a fairly brief, non-religious funeral, and there's only a few people there. It's sort of gentle snowfall as it happens, and if you know Cypress Hill, it's a big place, so lots of trees. It's very kind of tranquil, and also you realize as you kind of move in, it's a little bit away from the traffic, so you just get a little bit of respite, I suppose, from the hustle and bustle of New York. There is, of course, a priest who doesn't really say any religious connotations, but he introduced himself as Father Lyles, and he asks any of you and any of the people there to share any memories you might have of Jackson.
There's a part of me that wants to, but unfortunately all the memories I have with Jackson would probably cause them all to freak out.
Yeah, I'd rather not say anything.
Okay, that's
Oh,
fine.
say something about some campfire story or something.
Okay,
On the
We can't,
expedition.
we can't tell them the story of what happened around the campfire. That will screw them up.
Then we were all naked and dancing in a circle, and the snake appeared.
I'm assuming you don't say that.
No. I'll recount some minor incident, the kind of thing that isn't covered
Okay.
in RPG, but
Okay.
you know, something story told or something.
Yeah,
Or-
that's fine. So as you're like, kind of making up a little thing, the rest of you notice you're kind of looking around to see who else is there. There's quite a tall but quite large man who's a white man who's kind of supporting himself with a stick, although he's not really old, he's just pretty big. He appears to be by himself. There's also a black man, maybe a relative of Jackson, you're not sure, and he's about the same age, and he's with a younger black woman who might be his daughter or another relative, something like that. But anyway, the younger woman, she gets up after you, Francoise, kind of makes herself known, and she's quite emotional, as you would expect, but she sort of is strong, wipes away tears, and says, there are so many memories, me and Uncle Jackson, but one in particular, which I thought would be quite amusing to share, was when I was 11. I went with him and Uncle Carlton here to the movies to see 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. And Jackson had terrible hay fever, so when we got popcorn, he sneezed into the popcorn box and it went everywhere. So it was at a very funny moment as well when the monster came out of the darkness on the screen and just it went everywhere. But I thought you'd find that funny, so thank you. And the large white man also, he kind of half staggers to the middle, and he talks about a time. Yes, a few years ago we were attending a lecture, me and Jackson, in Los Angeles, and as luck would have it, of course, Jonah's ticket blew away down the street. I was a little bit thinner back then, but we chased after it, and I'm sure he almost got run over by one of those trams that come hurtling down, but I managed to push him out of the way. But we did get the ticket back in the end, and then the rest of the day was quite boring after that. I wish I hadn't gone to that lecture in the end, but that was a nice moment to share anyway, if a little terrifying at the time. But apart from that, the priest gets sort of the ushers to lower the coffin into where he's going to get buried. Again, not really any kind of Latin spoken or anything like that. It's all very kind of low key.
The coffin is behaving like a coffin that's got the weight of a body in, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Thinking like an adventurer. Sorry.
That's suspicious, given there was less than a body left of him.
Yeah, no, let's bust this coffin open. Have a look.
We're not back tonight digging this up, are we?
He wasn't when we left him.
From the way it's lowered, it definitely seems like there is a body in the coffin.
Yes, but is it his body?
I didn't put the man cover the coffin.
Your typical play.
I whisper a small prayer as the coffin's being lowered. I don't make a big scene of it because clearly it's religious observance is not something that's being put out there to any extent. So I respect the family and sort of whisper a small prayer, nothing extreme or excessive, just a small,
No. Okay, so there's a little bit of time afterwards to sort of just have a little talk, maybe as you're going back. Like I said, it's a big cemetery, so you have to kind of go back out along the driveway. And as you do so, you're approached by the black man and the younger woman. And the man introduced himself as Carlton Ramsey, who was Jackson's solicitor. So let me just
repeat the name, please.
Yes, I have him right here, actually. Carlton Ramsey. He seems to be a little bit highly strong, but he introduced himself. Yes, you are his contacts, are you not? Yes, I'm afraid I can't remember your names at the top of my head, but Jackson asked me to ask you at an opportune moment to conduct the reading of his will. If you're able to attend early next week, I can get it drawn up.
We would be honored.
Certainly, yes. That's
Yeah,
a bit
certainly.
surprised, but yes.
You didn't
I'm-
know that you were in his will?
No, I'm a little taken aback by what you just said, because of course I wasn't expecting such a thing to roll up. Also, I didn't expect to be mentioned in his will.
Well, let me.
Did not
Yes, four of you.
for one moment expect it, but now that it has happened, I strongly suspect I know what is in there.
He gets out a little notebook. So he's put Arthur Dibden,
Which is me.
Francoise Pelletier, Winston Greene, and Johan Braun.
Yeah.
It is, yes, it is definitely the four of you.
Well, I've known a few years.
As you can understand, my friends and I are somewhat surprised.
I beg your
not
pardon, Mr.
surprised,
Ramsey, but when was this will redacted?
Oh, he wrote it up a little while ago, but he did come in last week to see me to amend certain parts of it. Not your names. He did put you in a little earlier on, but I mean we can maybe talk about this, in the comfort of my office next week if you prefer. I appreciate
just one thing.
Certainly, sir.
And obviously, I ask this in full understanding that you will not wish to break attorney-client privilege, but when he made these amendments last week, did he leave anything with you that was to be given to us at the reading of the will? Any package or papers or so on?
Yes, papers. He has written something, I'm assuming, for you on the event of his death. There's a couple more things in there, but they are papers.
Very well.
Okay.
I believe, Winston, you're being called out in the comments.
Typical religious nutter. Is Winston going to become super priest? That's the question I have.
No,
That or in the House of Lords.
Not going to be super priest. Winston is going to be the very opposite of super priest. And Stephen, all I have to say in reply to your comments is, which is my grown-up and mature response.
Where are my manners? This is my niece, Miss Willa Sly, and she's now that you see her a bit more now, she's very good looking, and yeah, you do see the family resemblance, but they don't appear similar enough to be father and daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She does a little job for me on the side, comes in every so often. Although I do wish that you would adhere better to the attire that I asked for. And she just sort of laughs it off.
We're not obviously. It's the first time we've met you and your daughter. Could you tell
niece?
Who niece?
She's my niece.
Yeah,
my daughter. No.
The gentleman with the walking stick.
That is Mr. Kensington, Jackson's publisher.
Ah, yes. Thank you. We were hoping to bump into him.
Well, I suppose you have. You can see he's talking with the priest at the moment, but it looks like he has spotted you, and he is kind of giving you eye contact as if he wants to speak to you.
Okay.
Well, should we arrange a meeting with you next Monday, Mr. Ramsey?
Yes, I am available in the afternoon.
Fine by me. Where do you all stay, guys?
Yep.
Guys.
Yeah.
About 2 p.m.
2.
Fine by me.
Fine.
So he writes 2 p.m. on a business card and gives you the address to his offices. They are in Harlem, actually. If that helps.
Oh shit. Well,
Yes,
if
it is good.
things
We can.
are
How you say?
already
English?
there.
Sorry.
Happened?
No, I accidentally spoke over you, so I was letting you go first.
No, I was just making a stupid joke, so don't feel
So was I.
sorry about that. All right.
I was going to say we can kill 2 authors with 1 stone, if that's how you say it in English.
No, I was just saying that if things go south, we'll be already in Harlem for Monday. Maybe, I don't know, hidden behind under some cement, or making
Yeah, it'll save us
fertilizer
a software fair.
for some daisies.
Mm.
Is it possible we could continue after a short break? Because otherwise I'm going to get cystitis.
Yes.
I,
Yes, we can.
I was about to say that that author's joke clearly didn't go well. In fact, it was a complete write-off.
No, it's fine. I know you've had like a 3-hour meeting today, so yes,
Okay.
we shall take a little break.
Yep, go for it.
Hello, peoples. I got you all to myself for a bit, innit? Woohoo! On this most auspicious day. La, 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 la. Hello.
Hello.
You right?
Yes. Are you?
I am now. I've heard that news.
What news?
That Trump's border wall's fallen over in a hurricane.
Oh! I didn't see that.
The last,
that is funny.
the last couple of minutes of that first half there, I actually had to. I was desperately trying to stay in character and not laugh my ass off. That is.
Although
Of all the stupid, dumb, silly, fucked up things that guy has done, that is the latest.
Oh, Forbes is saying it hasn't fallen over. Daily Mail says it has. Seller Times says it likely didn't.
Did it or
I
didn't
don't
it?
know.
Jeez.
A portion of it fell over. There are pictures. It definitely has sections of it have definitely fallen over.
Did you guys have a bit of a tornado?
I was just about to say, you know when it was really kind of stormy and windy when we were playing mini golf, babe. Apparently, there was a tornado happening in Kingsthorpe.
I saw pictures.
Really?
Yeah. If you Google it, there's pictures of it. It's quite a tornado, actually. Quite cool.
But that's like just down the. Holy cow!
Yeah.
We were outside.
Well, lots of people were.
Wow.
Oh. Well,
Is that the first time we saw any pictures? Seen the pictures, Jason?
Yeah, I didn't know it happened.
Oh yeah. It was on. I saw it on Twitter over the weekend, I think.
I had no idea. We were out having a nice time.
I mean,
playing
technically, it's a
mini-golf.
funnel cloud rather than a tornado.
I must.
No, that's tornado. Actually, isn't it called cyclone when it happens in the UK?
Yes.
Yeah, it depends on where it is, doesn't it?
They
Yeah,
they don't become tornadoes until they touch the ground. That's why it's not a tornado. But yeah, no wonder it was a bit stormy.
Just a bit.
Well, the balls never rolled when we hit them.
No, that's true.
And I won by a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the hole in one at the end.
Yeah.
Again.
No, last time you didn't. I got it.
That's my second time getting the hole in one, though.
Yes.
On the final shot.
Is there one with the windmill?
No.
Not at that place, no.
Very.
About to
But
say,
we played.
really windy. That surely the windmill would have something
It's marine themed.
marine themed.
Yes. Well, like sort of sea boats and.
As Steve said in the comments, it's not really news because we get that all the time. In fact, in the Slough M4 corridor, it happens like 2,000 times a year or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It just doesn't normally happen up in Northampton.
You're absolutely right, Stephen. It's not news. Lots of people get a hole in one in that final hole.
No, I remember seeing a water spout in the RSC one time. So yeah, it happens a lot.
Yeah. It's not done a lot of damage. I mean, frankly, there was rubbish all over the town anyway. All it's done is repositioned it.
Yes.
It's not like anyone around here puts anything in a bin.
Right. Anyway, so is there anything else you want to say to Ramsey before mingling to speak with Jonah? If you still
Jonah being the publisher.
Yes, Kensington, Jonah Kensington.
Yeah, I don't believe we have anything else to tell Mr. Ramsey besides see you Monday.
Yes, I imagine you'll have lots of questions. So I have, and he kind of looks around a little. I've brought something special in to toast the occasion. Solemnly, obviously, solemnly.
Yeah, of course.
Yes,
Yes.
certainly.
Yes, we may have to. Is it possible we may have to do several toasts?
If you like a tipple, sir.
Unfortunately not, but I'm sure my compatriots here can toast for me several times over.
Ah, well, I suppose I could get in some nice ginger ale or soda water. Or...
Something of that region, yes.
All right. I will get that organized. Well, if you'll excuse me, gentlemen, madam, I need to get back to Manhattan.
Yes, of
please have a
course.
nice weekend.
See you next week.
That is English for we.
Yes, yes, I do know a little French myself, ma'am. I will see you on Monday then. Enjoy your weekend.
So let's
So
go
you-
have a word with the publisher.
Yeah, Jonas sort of started making his way over, although given his bulky frame, he's kind of slowly coming towards
In that
you.
case, we stand and wait for him. Sorry.
Again, new players. So he he actually kind of sits on a bench near to you, presumably just to kind of have a little rest. But yes, he introduced himself as the publisher, and says, so I finally can put some names to faces. Yes, you are the four who came to meet with Jackson. I'm so
We
sorry
are.
that did you manage to speak to him before it happened?
I'm afraid we didn't.
Unfortunately, we didn't.
It's a terrible business. What happened to him? So terrible. You know, this is not the first time he's got into danger, but he's always come back through that door.
It will certainly be the last time he'd come into such danger.
Yes, it's absolutely terrible news. Well, if you need me to help with anything, I did see you speak to Mr. Ramsey, so I'm assuming that you need to sort out some affairs of Jackson's. But if you have questions for me, feel free to pop into the office.
I
Doors are always
want
open.
something just out of interest. You are his publisher. Does he
Yes.
does he wait until he has written his entire manuscript before handing it off to you, or does he give it to you in chapters?
Hmm.
Right.
Bit of an odd question, but it depends. Sometimes he would present certain theories or findings to me, and I would talk with him about how to put it into a book, give it a bit more structure.
He's asking if he sent anything about the Carlyle Expedition.
Yes. About his current work.
Oh, I see. Well, yes. It will be easier to look through it. But yes, when he was in London a few months ago, it would be actually no. It would be November. So not really a few, more like a couple of months ago. But yes, he sent me a couple of letters from England. He also sent me a couple of letters while in Nairobi a few months prior. I'm just trying to think if anything else. Maybe there's a couple of things I'll need to get them out and dig through. But I have kept everything that he sent me. But yes, he did quite a lot of traveling before returning.
Well, with your permission, we would very much like to peruse them.
Of course you can. You're friends of his, and I trust you.
That'd be most helpful.
I also have a stranger request. We are trying to find some volumes which we know Jackson himself was looking for. And we are, maybe with your connections in the publishing industry, perhaps you can find more information on at least where these books can be found or if they can be printed for us again.
I'll do what I can, ma'am. I'm not connected to everybody, but I will try my best.
Certainly, and I'll give the names of the books that we're looking for. So, what was the first one, Winston?
It's Africa's Dark Sects.
Oh, he mentioned that one to me. Nigel somebody wrote it. He was a bit of an exhibitor himself. Now, I don't know the whereabouts of this Nigel, and I don't know about the book. Maybe. Have you tried Miskatonic?
We've called them. They have not. They don't. have a copy.
That's a pity. It sounded like a bit of a niche subject. I don't really know anybody who does African cults, I'm afraid. You might have to go further afield, maybe Los Angeles or somewhere possibly. I mean, I don't know. I'm just sort of throwing ideas up in the air. Did you say there was any more, like another?
Was there not a reference to the Equinox device, Winston?
Divis.
Yes, the Equinox
Divis.
Divis.
I've
volume
heard
in the description.
that book. I guess Jackson also mentioned that to me. I may know somebody who may know somebody else, who may know somebody else, if you get my meaning. But again, if it's not at Miskatonic, you may find a bit more luck. It depends how far you're willing to travel, really, but British Library or connections there. I could certainly get in touch with a couple of people and see if I can pull a few strings, but it might be a needle in a haystack, this job.
I think it would help a lot in perhaps even we may even be able to complete his work, whoever knows.
I'm sure he'd love that very, very much. Well, anyhow, I'm afraid I have appointments to deal with, but my doors are open if you ever want to come and visit.
You did mention you had some correspondence from him.
Yes,
Could we make an appointment to see it?
Of course you can. Yes. What? Let me see. And he gets out a little, presumably like a diary or something.
Monday morning will be perfect.
Monday morning. Yes, I can fit that in. Yes, that's not a problem.
What time?
Right. I will see you bright and early Monday morning at
what sort of time?
Prospero House. I get to the office around 8:30.
9 o'clock, say?
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock it is.
Thank you very much.
No problem. No problem. I hope in advance that it will be helpful to you.
Mm-hmm.
And in case you want to know the address, it isn't in Harlem. It is Lexington Avenue near 35th Street.
We got quite a lot on that Monday now.
Yeah.
Not loads.
Okay.
You've got
Just a couple of
that,
things.
and also you've got the appointment with Mr. Ramsey in the afternoon.
Okay.
And then day after is when Erica's soiree is taking place. Should you want to follow that up?
And the other thing is that thing in the afternoon is also close to the other place in Harlem.
Yes. So
Yeah.
Colton Ramsey's place, yes, is up in Harlem.
Yeah, and that shop we want to go to, the Kenyan import way or something.
Do you mean Juju House?
Yes, Juju House.
Yeah, owned by Mr. Twane. Okay. Well, as you're discussing things, Jonah does take his leave. You get to kind of the main gates of the cemetery, and you notice that there are a few people who are kind of convening. There's a few white men and one black lady who is a bit shorter than the men, so she's kind of trying to get round them, and she's in particular quite vocal to you, and says, "Excuse me, are you friends of Mr. Elias? My name is Rebecca Shosenbro from New York Times." And you can see she's got like a pen and paper out, and you can see that the men are doing sort of similar things, trying to get hold of Jonah. They're obviously journalists.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to say about this new murder?
I'm afraid we don't. We were just acquaintances of Mr. Elias. We are deeply sorrowed by his passing. Unfortunately, we are not in the police force, so we don't have any further details you may deem interesting.
Of course. And when you mentioned that you were kind of acquaintances, she kind of, you can see her face kind of comes out of journalist mode a little bit. You can see that she looks genuinely, sympathetic for you, and says, "Yes, of course. I didn't mean to intervene, but I was hoping you could help if you have some time. Maybe not now, but." And she gets out a business card for her offices at the New York Times. She says, I don't know if you saw my article this morning, but Mr. Elias's death could potentially be a missing link to the other murders that have happened. I want to try and find out who the true killer is. Somebody who is charged for these murders is going to be executed, and he is innocent. And I want to prove his innocence, and maybe you can help with that.
Well, if we do have anything helping your hypothesis, we will surely keep in touch with you, since we got your contacts now.
Of course. Just feel free to pop on in, or just give me a call if you are still interested in talking. And she understands that you don't want to have a full conversation with her or anything.
I have just one question. What makes you think that Adams is innocent?
Well, quite simply because the police have confirmed that the way that your friend was murdered is fitting all the signs as to the other Harlem murders, but Mr. Adams is already in prison, so it can't possibly be him. But I do have other hunches and leads and theories as well.
But your own article suggested he may have had accomplices.
Yes, but to tell you the truth, I personally don't. I was told to put that in.
Mm-hmm.
Very well.
I don't think so.
Have you spoken to Adams at all yourself?
Yes, I have spoken to him. He has told me.
What is he like?
What is he like? A very kind, sincere gentleman.
Is he from New York?
Yes, not here. Bronx, but he has a wife, a very endearing wife. He's a very kind person, or at least he comes across that way. I mean, if you want to speak to him yourself, I could try and maybe get a window for you to visit.
I would consider it.
Say that again, sorry.
I would consider it.
But certainly, you can take my word
She's
for
a
it.
very busy woman.
Obviously, I've just met you, but
Hmm.
I've spoken to him. I've spoken to his wife. His wife is also very invested in proving his innocence. But if there's nothing we can glean from this new murder, then we've run out of options.
Obviously, we're not resident in New York, and we've only just learnt of these previous murders. Why would the police have linked him to it? Do you think? Was there anything at the time? Any theories at the time why he would have done it?
She looks at you, Winston, and kind of gives you that look of it's not as legit as you might think. She says, I
it would
think
appear he was,
it might be why.
it would appear that he was found guilty whilst black.
I was maybe going to be a little bit more tapped than that, but yes. It does seem to suggest that, certainly from what he's told me and the sources that I've looked into, that he was set up. He was framed.
And do you have anything at all that supports the theory he was framed?
Yes, I do have a few things that I've compiled together back at my offices.
Could you name one?
I can, yes. I can remember oh, sorry. So she looks a little reluctant to give a lot, and she says, "Look, that there's some stuff that I know that might potentially get me in a lot of trouble. We're in an open area, but I don't know if you've know any of the other victims. There's no links other than that they were all murdered in Harlem. The head of the precinct of Harlem, he arrested Mr. Adams, and she kind of looks around further and says he's maybe not the most golden cop, shall we say.
Okay, so
He has a bit of a history.
Was he arrested in Harlem?
I believe so, but I can double check. I'm 99% sure that he was. Yes. Yeah. But obviously, him being the captain of the precinct, I can't really repeat this very loudly.
yes, but
Repeating it softly, which is all you need to do.
What if we take this conversation in your office?
Yes, absolutely. I'm fine with that. It is it's back in Manhattan. I mean, if you want to talk later on this afternoon, I said yes. I do have time. Actually, I could spare some time for you. Like I said, I'd be very, very grateful if you do have anything.
Our own.
Off game, what do you say, guys? Do we go to Harlem first and to our office second, or vice versa?
are you
I
in
believe that it's
We
worth
could split
going
two
to
and two.
Harlem first.
We
No,
could
no,
go
no, no,
two
no,
and
no.
two.
I wouldn't think that going Harlem divided would be a good idea.
Well, it depends. If I'm one of the people that goes to Harlem, you've got a better shot of staying alive.
Yet, if we go to Harlem and step on the wrong dog's tail, things are gonna go south pretty easily.
Yes, I am in tomorrow from 11 o'clock.
You see, so she works on the Saturday, whereas the shop may or may not be open. Let's do Harlem now.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, then. See you tomorrow then. At 11.
Sure. Yes, 11 is fine. The address is on the card. I really do appreciate this, by the way. I'm optimistic that you may be able to help more than you think. But yes, we'll see. We'll see. And she smiles, in particular at you, Winston. As she starts walking away, you can make me spot hidden rolls if you like.
Anyone or
Just to
Winston?
say,
Yeah, all of you. Yeah, you can do.
we're watching a young woman walk away, and we're looking for spot hidden roll.
No.
I just want to
Pass.
clarify.
35 out of 47.
Failed.
Spot hidden.
Regular for me.
You what? Sorry. Arthur.
And that is a hard success from me.
Yeah, I just
Okay.
got a regular success.
You got a regular, yeah. Yep. So hard
Look,
regular.
the Wright brothers.
Where?
Okay, so Winston, you got the hard success. So, yeah, you're not watching her in that way, but yeah, she comes across as a very nice person and someone that you can potentially confide in, being that she is like yourself, an African American. It's a bit of a breath of fresh air, and also you find it quite impressive that she's got a place in the New York Times. But as you're just watching and thinking about what she's told you, turning out, you notice just past her, the snow is sort of starting to settle a bit, but you see a car start pulling away. You're not sure exactly who's in it, but they seem to have maybe been watching. And there's 3 people in the car.
I sort of, without trying to sort of make any sort of overt gestures, I turn to the others and say, as subtly as possible, there's a car. I sort of gesture sort of underhand, the sort of general direction of the car, let the rest of them know.
Possibly the Watchers, Jackson, warned us off.
Could it be the men that were in the hotel room when you arrived?
It could be police officers watching ours. It could be police officers watching
I
ours.
don't think it's police officers. It was not a police car by any means. Thinking about, okay, there were 2 black men and 1 white man who you remember from the hotel room. You're 99% sure that all 3 of them in the car were black.
It would appear that all of
so,
them are African American.
So there were 3 people in the hotel room when they went in, aside from the body of Christ.
Yes, there were two black men, 1 white man.
Yeah,
Okay.
I attempted to shoot one of them in the arse, and I hit a barn door several miles away.
Arthur did manage to shoot one of them, but they still legged it.
Do I recall the car from the one that I saw outside of Jackson's room? Is it the same car?
It doesn't appear to be, no. Although it doesn't stay for long. It kind of pulls away, it gets lost. There's a lot of parked cars along this road, given the snow as well. So you don't really see any more details on it before it moves away.
Seems fine.
Only that we have ruffled feathers, perhaps.
Don't forget to give a tick on that spot hidden.
They did.
I can't.
Anybody passed? Anybody who passed or hasn't passed already?
Although apparently it's
Alright.
already ticked, so yay.
Ah.
Item this then.
So Rebecca
That's
showed
like-
the New York Times on Saturday.
So as we're heading to Harlem, I just want to sort of have a chat with the people. It's like my concern with the reporter is that she obviously has motive to present this man as innocent, and she did not yet present evidence that suggests he actually is innocent, other than a prejudice of being prejudiced against, if you see what I mean. So
I am hopeful that our meeting with her tomorrow, she may be able to give some light on evidence. Maybe it was evidence she felt.
Yeah,
Unwilling.
I just advise us to refrain to give her any important details.
the important question for us is whether this Adams man is actually in this same cult. If so, we can speak to him and he can't run away. If he is not, then he is likely innocent, yes.
Yeah.
That is what I was getting to with the
Yeah, I
fact that
mean,
she hasn't given evidence.
I mean, the truth is, it could very well, our investigation may end up proving that he's guilty in the first place. I mean,
Could do. It is a question of whether he is in the same cult.
yeah. Let's see what she's got. We can play our cards close to the chest. If she's looking for particular details, we can be helpfully vague. Make it look like we're helping, but you know, keep the good stuff for ourselves for now until we can decide whether or not we can trust her.
I wonder if these murders in Harlem was close to the shop at all.
That would be worth checking out, actually. That would be very easy to determine. We could do that at the library.
Yeah, get the newspaper report.
Get the newspaper reports and get a map and just
Or
play.
get it to show us. She'll have it tomorrow in the morning.
Hmm.
Because we're going to Harlem now.
You want to go to Harlem now?
I thought that was the plan.
Yeah.
Oh, to have a little look at Juju House.
Juju House. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. No, I slightly misunderstood you. All right. So
It's the accent.
it's the accent. Do you want to head to your hotel first just to refresh, or do you want to head straight up to Harlem?
I'd go straight up.
We are dressed very smartly for a
Yeah, you're just
funeral.
smartly in black. Yeah.
That may or may not help in Harlem. I don't know.
Do we want to change into something a bit more relaxed first?
I mean, the only thing saving us, I believe, it's having Winston on the team, beside what we are dressed up as or for. So I don't believe it's actually important how we are dressed up, as long as we got Winston with us.
Okay, then we should go right now.
Yeah,
I
Would
think
seem-
so.
Maybe.
would seem the one possible situation where my color actually is an asset.
So straight up to Harlem.
Mhm.
Okay. No worries. Okay, so time of day. It is getting to about 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Bum.
Who else is armed other than Arthur? Because I didn't bring a gun.
I don't know if I'd have taken it to a funeral.
I wouldn't have taken it to funeral.
So just Arthur then.
I
It's just
did
a
because I don't give a fuck.
Okay, so Harlem, you kind of start realizing quite quickly is a very diverse part of Manhattan. Lots of rather vibrant places, theaters, show places. You think maybe some speakeasies somewhere, although you don't get exactly where, but you get a feeling that there's going to be quite a few up here.
Oh, in that period in Harlem, they were all over the fucking shop.
Oh, yes. But even just from looking, like there's some rather eclectic, interesting sounding places. Lots of sort of florist shops and coffee shops and things, you know, that's sort of the usual.
That's where all the speakeasies are. They're in the back of the florist shops.
Yeah, they could be. Sometimes they were indeed in florist shops.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Juju House is off an alley of West 137th Street, east of Lenox Avenue, and the official address is 1 Ransom Court. It's a square court, about sort of 6 meters, 20 feet wide or so, and it looks like its back door is opposite a pawn shop. So there's you think maybe a couple of places around here. But yeah, I mean, it looks to be some sort of African emporium of merchandise of some sort. There's a couple of people browsing inside.
Head in very casually.
Do all of you head in, or just Winston?
Yeah, we'll head in looking like hip people.
I'm going in as well.
Okay. Yeah, coolio. Okay. So yeah, there is a couple of people. They don't look particularly into the occult. They're dressed quite conservatively, and they're just sort of looking around. You can see that there is an elderly gentleman who is sort of doing work at a little cashier's desk. Seems to fit the description of Silas. He's wearing like one of those little hats and those big kind of silk cloths. But he eyes you up and realizes that you're new or have not been in before, and he says, good afternoon to you. Please do look around.
Thank you very much.
Can I roll a spot hidden inside the shop to see if anything catches my eye?
I'd rather I describe it first, and then if I decide it's spot hidden to do, then I will do that. Go ahead for now, Winston.
I was going to say, are there any books? Has it got a nice book section?
This is him. A book section. I don't remember reading that there were any books in here.
What a charming looking fella.
Yes, he is incredibly wrinkly.
Right, we've met at least 3 people in these pictures that just look like they're possessed.
To be fair, the artist who drew these, there is a little bit of that in there. I get what you mean, especially Jonah. I was thinking,
I was going to say, I wrote it in there. We need to shoot him on general principle.
Yeah, no, don't worry. Don't take that too literally. Okay.
That guy's eyes were just like.
Okay. So you have a look around. Basically, as you go in, there's lots of stuff in here. It's got quite an oppressive feel, you know, that when you go into a shop with lots of bric-a-brac, it's a bit dusty, and it's got that sort of feeling of, oh God, I need to kind of almost come to my senses a little bit. And a lot of it is mainly sort of tribal artifacts from Africa. So there's things like leather-headed drums, model giraffes, sort of stuffed model giraffes, carved animals like wildebeests, various other things, dull weapons for display, other stuff like that. You can make me an occult roll if you like. I know a couple of you into that.
I'm going to try it, just asking him something first, or just as he greets us. I'm going to say, my friend recommended. Sorry, no, my friend sent me. His name is Jackson Elias. Do you know him?
No, I do not know of this man, madame.
That's a
Is it
psychology
shit?
check.
Yeah, I think so.
Also, I failed
If I may.
my occult roll.
You failed the occult roll.
Yes.
I made
I'm
an
doing psychology now.
If I may also do that psychology roll, please.
You may do a psychology roll. I'll tell you if there's a roll warranted for that.
39 out of 40.
I got hard pass on psychology if he's lying.
I made an extreme and occult 1.
So,
It's a critical.
wait, sorry, who got critical? Who?
1 in
Yeah,
occult.
roll 1.
One on
Okay.
occult.
Oh, critical on the occult roll. Okay,
Yes.
right. Okay, I'll deal with that in a second.
I give the bare
okay.
minimum
But I got-
of psychology.
Right,
I
so
got hard pass on psychology.
I'll pass psychology. Arthur, what did you get for psychology?
Yes.
No, what did you get?
39 out of 40. The bare minimum.
So regular pass. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, you both get the impression that he's obviously not telling the truth. He's obviously hiding something. But Francoise, you also feel, especially looking at him, you do not want to pry to him. He comes across as almost a little threatening in a very charming way, almost kind of killing you with kindness.
So you say I do not want to pry to him.
You don't want to pry about the fact that he's lying or the fact he's
Okay.
something.
That is confusing because it told me to pick up the things.
And what things were those?
It was not specific. He
I
said he had ordered something.
I will check in my ledger. One moment, please. And you see him kind of totter off to the end of his desk, and he gets this sort of big ledger, comes back with it. You said his name was Elias, Jackson Elias.
Yes, that is right.
You are mistaken, madam. I do not see any Jackson Elias in here that I can see. And he actually like turns the ledger towards you.
Oh, he didn't already pick it up himself, did he?
Perhaps he did.
A mix-up. I am sorry to have wasted your time then.
That is all right. And he does this big, charming smile at you.
It is a shame because now he is dead.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, well, I'm sure you didn't know him, so would not concern you.
Well, no, it does not. But at the same time, you mentioned this out of thin air, so...
Well, yes, because I cannot ask him now, because if he has the things, so because he is dead. So now
Pity.
it is lost, which is a shame because now we cannot get it.
Well, maybe you will find it in here nonetheless if you look hard enough. And he gestures back to the rest of the room. So going back to the natural one with the occult roll, obviously give that a tick. Yeah, so hold on, I'm just quickly reading it. Okay, so there's nothing specifically that screams cultish in here. It's definitely like there's different types of masks and things that relate to different African cultures. And when I say cultures, I don't mean cults, but just regular cultures. However, what I will say is that there is a rug on the floor, whether it's furniture or whether it's for sale, you're not sure. But it is in terms of like sort of nationality, it's a bit out of place. It's still African in design, but it's different compared to everything else around it.
Okay. I will indicate to Wilson to come over, and I will sort of whisper to him. That doesn't look right, does it? I'm pointing down at the rug. Just trying to get his archaeologist view on it, see if there's anything he recognises.
I have a look at this rug, see if anything
That
pops out about it.
doesn't look African to me.
Well, it is African, but like I said, in terms of what's around it, it doesn't quite fit. To you, Winston, it's a rug. It's a bit dusty. You can't see a price tag on it. It might just belong to Silas.
I'm afraid my knowledge of archaeology doesn't extend to furnishings. I put my hand, I sort of rub my hand across it. I mean, does it feel like sort of cheap wool or nice finery?
Maybe a bit in between. But the thing that you notice more, rather than the material, as you rub, you feel the floor kind of depress slightly in places as you run your hand across the rug. But as you do so, you hear Silas from the front go, "Please, I am closing the shop. It is 5 o'clock. If you wouldn't mind, you can come back on Monday if you wish."
You're not open tomorrow by any chance?
No, Saturday tomorrow.
I whisper to Johan, put yourself between me and him.
Okay, so
Give me
I'll walk towards him, saying, "Well, I mean, if he was open tomorrow, I'd like to pop back and have a look at a few more of these items."
We are not open tomorrow.
At which point I am going to gently sort of keek. There's an old Scottish word. Keek under the rug to see what the depression is.
Yeah, is there nothing I can do to convince you to maybe open up for an hour?
No.
Making it look like I'm just feeling the thickness of it.
Yeah, I know what you're doing, but he is watching you. He is not interested in what Johan's saying. So you're going to need to make me a very good. Let's go with dexterity. I've forgotten to open this thing again. Where is the tabs?
Dexterity, you say?
Dexterity. Or stealth if it happens to be any larger, but I imagine it's not.
No, it's not. And I've got a feeling that just passing isn't going to be enough, and I'm 10 points off even passing. So I really don't have the luck to push. So that's a fail from me.
Well, bear in mind, pushing a roll is different entirely. But with a push roll, you have to justify why you're doing it. And then if you fail the roll, big consequences happen. You can't spend luck to make it.
Don't push rolls outside of final encounters.
No.
Seriously.
No, it's not. It's.
We don't deserve to die for your hubris.
So you just passed, yeah?
No, I failed.
Oh, you failed?
I failed completely. I'm saying it would have been 10 points of luck just to get me to just a pass.
Okay. So not only does he know what you're doing, he knew what you were doing as soon as Johan started coming up to him. He immediately starts running out of the store, saying, "Help! Police! I am being robbed! Please come quick! I'm being robbed!"
For the love of fucking God.
And you can see that there's not police in the immediate area, but he's obviously causing a bit of a scene.
Fine, I'll grab the ledger.
Look under the rug now.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm going to look under the rug now. May as well, he's run off.
Okay. Right, Francoise.
It's on the place over.
That's quite big. It's about as big as this.
Yeah, and I'm wearing a big funeral dress.
I don't even want to
With
know
a big
where you're putting it.
Right. Okay. That's interesting. Okay. What I will say is, you do get a look under the rug. There is a trapdoor under the rug.
Actually, well, maybe I could just quickly flick through, because we know a rough date range. He's in New York now, so I'm just going to have a look through the pages, see if Jackson Elias is mentioned in any of the most recent pages now that I've got free access to the book. How about
Okay. Give me a spot hidden roll. We're looking through really quickly and furiously.
That is an extreme pass.
Ooh, okay. Just give me a second. I'm just checking if there's. Yes, here we go. So, okay, no sign of Jackson's name anywhere, but you do see something that keeps popping up, which to you, because your eyesight's obviously very good in this case, stands out. It's just signed WR14, and it's always around the same amount of money. It's a good sort of $50-$60 every week, and it shows it's basically a debit, so it's being paid to somebody else or a company. So it's
You
money
said
going out.
WR14.
WR14, yes.
Can't find any reference of that in our handout so far.
Yep. What I'll say as well, because of the extreme spot hidden, is as you're kind of looking at that, and you're maybe keeping an eye out for Silas as well, as he's kind of running around a bit like a headless chicken, you can see he's got some kind of, you think, a key or something shiny around his neck.
Oh, and Silas himself.
Yeah, around his neck.
Okay. When is the next payment due then, if they're regular payments?
You're thinking they're coming, well, they're going out every week, or roughly every week.
But exactly when?
Oh, I see.
Because maybe we can be here when it happens.
Yeah, possibly. Judging by, it's either going to be Monday or Tuesday.
Are they on a consistently spaced interval? Uh-oh. I think Jason's lost connection.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I heard him swearing. Hang on, let me take headphones off. What's up, babe? He got a blue screen of death.
Oh,
no.
Shoot.
So he'll be a little while.
Oh, bugger.
WR14. What's the abbreviation for wharf? Would it be WR or WF?
WR, I believe he said.
Can't.
That's a big ass Jonah right there.
It is, isn't it? With the stubble, it's almost back to old guy.
Becky, do you want to see how Jason is holding up? And if maybe we should end session here before he smashes his case?
You better not. I built him that.
That's what I would do.
It's
Smashing shit.
Oh, what's up, sweetie?
It's rebooting.
Yeah.
It's only been a few minutes anyway, so. Jeez.
Yeah, but I don't have the end session button. So
I know.
I could have sorted it out, I imagine, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's only a bit longer to go.
Yeah, we will be ending soon, but I'd like that previous question answered.
We've Stephen posed the absolutely important question for this session. Why are the beards disappearing?
Well, Ronnie's copying Phil, but Phil's going back on himself.
With regards to my reason, it was very simple. The mask was just bloody uncomfortable with the beard. It was very itchy, and I was just scratching my damn face off. So,
Yeah, and I was getting pointed at and laughed at in the street, so
you know, as
come on, that was genius.
As we still have to, as we still have to wear the mask. Something had to give, so it was the beard. Plus, I think I look damned handsome without the beard. And I think I look younger.
Tell yourself.
Younger, yeah.
You
sound modest too.
I have been told by my therapist to actually show myself more love. So, yeah, that's what I'm telling myself. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant.
You sure they weren't just saying you need to wank?
This is a wrong game, Becky.
Yeah.
No, they were not saying that, Becky. If they were saying that, they would be telling me I was a complete jerk. But
oh, I hope Jason doesn't watch this back. He says yes, he will. Oh, I'm going to be in such trouble.
Beards imply wisdom and trust, and less goatee than evil and skullduggery. This would. What are we calling your beard today, Stevie? I've seen you clean shaven. Yes, the important questions are being answered today.
I think Jason made a noise that suggests he has rebooted and is back on his way.
Excellent.
I heard a kind of an okay sound. No, it's all lies. It's not here.
It's all lies. You've been lying to me, Jason.
Yeah, that was the other reason, Stephen. I was starting to look like the wild man of Borneo as well. Hence the haircut, and then yesterday I just went with the razor. The electric razor for the 5 minutes it took to take the beard and moustache off.
I tend not to cut mine, otherwise I look like a 16 years old. And that's not really what I'm looking for.
Slowly getting there.
He says slowly getting there. You ought not to be slowly. It's like a really quick machine. Apparently he's waiting for StreamYard to load. Huh. Captain Caveman. Captain Caveman.
And the Teen Angels.
Oh, yeah, it was with some other characters that aren't as memorable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Hanna-Barbera were just doing so many variations on Scooby-Doo.
And he was in the Wacky Races.
Yes, he was. I mean, there was so many a group of teenagers who solved ghostly mysteries that turned out to be not ghosts, and they always had some other sort of character, be it the Funky Phantom or Scooby-Doo or Captain Caveman.
Which brings us back to the ultimate question. Scrappy-Doo, good or bad?
Bad, always bad.
Always bad.
Not always bad. This is the point. The first season, he was good. The second season, when they fired all the other voice actors and they gave all of the roles to Scrappy because he was hugely popular and really good, then they ruined him. They made him every other character all at the same time, not as good.
I have never, ever been in favor of cruelty to animals, except with the exception.
Yeah, but when they first introduced him, he was massively popular and a good character. It was a good little addition. It was when they fired all the other voice actors to cut the production cost, because they had this new super character everyone loved, but then they had to give all of their roles in the narrative to Scrappy-Doo. And that's what ruined him. Sorry, I could discuss Scooby-Doo as an art form. I'm sorry, you just go back to your college education.
Well, because of the kids, I'm going to say that we have an awful lot of Scooby-Doo movies. An awful lot.
Yes, they did make a load of, like, wasn't it straight to video or something? Some of them.
Yeah, they are recently, yeah, but all the old seasons as well. We've got all the old TV series as well.
Mm-hmm. Including the bad ones.
Including the bad ones with Scrappy-Doo.
First season with Scrappy-Doo is okay.
I'll be honest, they kind of bleed into each other. That's the problem I have with Scooby-Doo in general, actually, but especially the Scrappy-Doo. They all kind of bleed into each other.
Lots and lots.
Sorry, Phil?
They did lots of crossovers. Blue Falcon.
Don't know what that is.
Blue Falcon and what's his pet dog thing called? Cyberman, was it?
I don't remember.
Then Batman. There's a Batman one. Batman crossover.
What, with Scooby-Doo?
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Batman in Scooby-Doo or Scooby-Doo and Batman?
Batman was...
Yeah, I think that's the only way that could work.
No, it is Scooby-Doo and Batman.
Yeah, but in the Scooby-Doo.
He's in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I couldn't imagine it the other way around. That would be ridiculous.
Harlem Globetrotters. That's a big one.
That's the best basketball team, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're telling me it's also a cartoon?
It did.
Yeah, they did have a cartoon for the Harlem
Globetrotters appeared several times in Scooby-Doo as well.
In fact, that was the first time I actually heard of the Harlem Globetrotters, was the cartoon.
Does anyone know where our GM's gone? Shall I go find out?
Smashing his computer up.
I think in terms of Hanna-Barbera, yeah, I was going to say, Steve, yeah, only cartoon dog worth a damn, Hong Kong Phooey.
Oh, Hong Kong Phooey is good.
My other favourite, even though he was a pain in the ass as a character, but I always liked the premise, was Inch High Private Eye.
Inch High Private Eye, good God, that's, yeah.
Says Phil, Jesus, that's taking me back.
So, yes, I haven't got that one. So they did Kiss. We've got the Kiss one. They met Kiss. WWE wrestlers, got that one. Teen Titans, ain't got that one. I haven't seen that one.
Teen Titans is awesome.
Batman. Johnny Bravo. Wow.
Right, okay, hooray, hello, sorry about that.
Welcome back.
To answer Steve's question, Hong Kong Phooey's cat was called Spot, which was rather hilarious.
Yes, it was.
Because it was a stripy cat.
It was a stripy cat. And can I just say, Blue Falcon, his dog was called Dynamite.
Anyway.
As you can see,
That you've entertained
conversation
yourself
derailed a
whilst
little
I've been...
bit.
waiting for
We,
my
we have been
computer to
discussing the
resurrect.
artistic merits of small dogs in cartoons.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so the pertinent question is Scooby-Doo, good or bad? No. So the pertinent question
Terrible.
is: Are these? You're wrong. Are these WR14 payments at
40.
40?
Yeah, 40. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
40.
Oh, 4T.
Oh, was it? Oh, shit. No. Sorry. Ignore me. No, 14. Definitely
Okay.
14. Sorry.
Right. So
I
are
was
they
Thinking
at?
of
ignore
WD-40.
you.
I don't know why.
I was
Are
going
they
to
at the
say, which is a distant cousin of.
Are they at the same time each week?
Like I said, they are Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. Is it always the same time of day, or is that not in the ledger?
No times.
Okay.
Sorry, did you
All
say
right.
weekly, did you?
Beg pardon?
Would you
Should we get the F out of here?
or monthly?
Weekly.
Weekly.
Sorry. Just make,
I
just,
mean, that means if it happens on the Monday, we are booked. We've got 2 places we need to go on the Monday, which means if we want to ensure we don't miss the payment if it happens on the Monday, we're going to have one person stake it out.
There's no point being staked outside the shop. Let's discuss this later.
I was going to say,
let's-
so you
let's
can
just
you can
leave.
hear the sound of officers coming. Are you? I'm assuming you're planning to make yourself scarce.
Yes.
Okay. So, in terms of not being seen, that's going to be quite difficult for you. So, can you please give me stealth rolls? Just a reminder that most of you still have bonus dice that you can use. This might be a good time to use them.
Especially as my stealth is shit.
which I would like
Yeah,
to use.
my stealth is shit
Huh.
as well.
It was a hard pass.
Okay.
Keeper, I
Yes.
got 29 out of the base 20. I spend the 9 luck points.
You spend 9 luck. Okay. That is fine.
Unbelievable.
I rolled 99.
I
Oh.
see.
See you in
Okay.
Sing Sing.
So I'm walking out the door as the policeman enters and I bump into him.
Yeah. And what I'll say is because you got the fumble, they notice you got the ledger. You're like,
No,
stuck in
I
it.
was no, because I said I didn't take it as a. I was just going
Oh,
to thumb through it
I
instead.
didn't get that. It had gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did that instead of.
Okay, so you're walking out. Johan, what did you get?
I got 21 instead of so I was 1 over, so I spent a luck point.
So you passed. Okay. So yeah, what I'll say is whilst you're really busy in finding this WR14 thing, they've already kind of gone out of the door. So you sort of try and catch them up, and then you're stopped by cops.
Mm.
What the hell's going on here? This man says he's being robbed.
Not by me.
Not.
It was her. It was her and 3 others. 3 others who have gone.
No, I asked you questions. I did not rob you.
Ma'am, do you mind coming outside for a moment? We need to check that there's nothing on your person there shouldn't be.
Of course.
Are you gonna touch me?
So they actually
Inappropriately?
pat you down and try and sort of get you to empty your pockets.
This man is a liar.
He's looking at you really like he's on.
I'm looking at him.
Yeah, the cops are ignoring you for the moment, and sort of, do you comply and empty your pockets?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You've not really got anything on
No.
you that's suspicious, is there? No. Okay. They turn back to Silas and say, "There's nothing on this lady. You're free to go." And he doesn't say anything, but you can see he's like
Why do you
puckering his
accuse me of
lips.
stealing from you? I did not steal anything from you.
He looks at you like he has a proper vendetta towards you. And he
No,
marches
answers
back
the
into his
question.
ship.
Answers the question. You fraud.
He's
I
not.
bet you
he's
don't
not
even
answering.
know what the occult is, do you? You're just
He's
too
not-
busy with your WR14.
He's not answering the question, and he almost kind of
shout that.
slams. Yeah, it's fine. He doesn't seem to react from what you can see, but he kind of slams the front door and actually locks it and like turns the
As
clothes
he's locking
on.
it, I spit on the door.
You hear him shout something in some African language, but it's also muffled by the glass, so you don't quite get that.
Yeah. And I shout something in French.
Ma'am, if you can you please move along now?
Excuse my French.
Yes, absolutely. Please, this is no place for a lady to be, as it's getting dark. So, which it is. It's getting dark.
Foul man.
So I imagine you convene back with the others the next street, something like that.
Oh, I imagine they're still in view somewhere to me. I mean, or not.
Cab or
If not, I'll walk slightly quick for a while.
Maybe not Winston, no, because yeah, it takes a little bit of time, like 10 minutes or so. But yes, you kind of get together about a block away.
The cheek of the man. I say in my German accent.
The cheek of the man.
Le cheek of the man. Le homme.
L'homme.
Merde.
I may have lost my temper. He accused me of stealing. I don't even know why. Didn't even look at his ledger until he came outside shouting, "There's thieves in my shop."
He was definitely spooked by us going near that trapdoor.
There was a trapdoor that you went there, no wonder.
underneath the carpet. He obviously got very agitated when we saw it.
He was agitated at the thought of us even finding it, let alone seeing it.
Obviously,
He
the
has
building-
mysterious ledger entries where he is paying out money each week to a WR14.
Yeah, that can mean actually anything. From William Rosebery, 14 years old, to Williamsboro Road, number 14. It could be anything.
Absolutely. So let us keep our minds open to seeing this code somewhere if it transpires. Because he was definitely lying. I felt he knew Elias, but he would not
I
say.
felt that too.
This man is
Also, it
suspicious.
will be interesting to see under the trapdoor.
I think he is one of the people with the symbols.
Well, if it's not directly one of them, it may be part of the code nonetheless.
I certainly think there's he's hiding something. Specifically, I think there's something in the basement he doesn't want us to see now. Whether
Basically
that's
hiding
fair,
the shit is full of.
it could be that he has contraband there that he doesn't want us to see. It could be he
Could be as simple as a speakeasy, but they think he's a maggot
Yeah.
man.
Don't be racist, Francoise.
What I don't follow.
Don't call it Maggot Man just because it's black.
No,
Come
the
on.
people in Peru.
I thought you were better than that.
The maggot people in
That's
Peru.
a shame. You should be ashamed.
well. Let's make it absolutely clear. I'm calling him the Maggot Man. I'm calling
Is
him
maggot a racist term?
not anymore.
I'm confused myself. So I imagine you're bickering about this as you're. Are you heading back to your hotel, or are you planning to do anything else in Harlem whilst you're here? But like I said, it is dark now.
I would be far more comfortable heading back to the hotel at this point and regrouping.
Yeah, me too.
Nothing more to do in Harlem until Monday now.
No, even tomorrow we may come
Yeah.
here and see if there's something worth checking because relating the murders.
Yeah, I'd like to sort of. Although we're talking to the reporter tomorrow, she'll
We
be
are, and we can
here.
Yeah,
ask
I
her for a
really-
map of where the incidents happen.
Yeah, when murders took place. Yeah.
Also, I will always be carrying a gun from now on. The man creeps me out.
Okay. So you head back to the Ward of Astoria, and there's a little bit of relief as you feel okay. At least you got away from him. But as you get to the front desk and you get your keys from behind the desk, the reception says, "Oh, yes, I have a message for you from Lieutenant Poole. He'd like to speak with you at a time that's convenient."
Thank you.
Saturday afternoon is convenient.
Fuck.
He just said to give him a call.
All right.
Okay.
I believe we are calling him next week. In about 10 days.
Yes, I'd like to put it in our diary. We will be phoning him, I believe, on the 30th of February.
Happy Christmas!
I mean, you don't have to decide now, but
No, I reckon the 30th of February is a good day to phone him.
okay. And as the night draws in on the Friday, that is where we shall end today's session.
Woohoo!
Right. Seems about right.
Even more shit to throw at you.
Goodbye for another week, Stevie boy.
Yes, thank you, Steve, for watching, and anybody else who happens to watch in the future. I'll end the broadcast now.
Au revoir.
See you next week.